Hello everyone, this is your host John on the Prepared Mind channel. Welcome back, indeed. We made it through another day. Trump did not start World War III. Russia did not start World War III. China did not start World War III. But we've had some more interesting things happen. I'm going to cover some things that have happened the last couple of days, kind of bring us up to speed, and see where we're at with some current events and your need to prepare. Well, let's start with California. We'll just start there. Big news today. Some jackass in the state of California has decided that they want to pass a law that says that before you can say anything, you have to have your facts checked. Now, that's a state that indicates a state of emergency that we're in. Critical, logical thinking. Right? My freedom of speech doesn't depend on truth. Truth. Now, before I can speak freely as a citizen, as a human fucking being, I have to get my facts checked according to the state of California if they pass this legislation. Can you see how far off this is? Right? Now, this channel is about my opinion. It's me editorializing. It's me sharing my thoughts. It's me sharing my perspectives. Whether or not I tell the truth, you guys get to decide. You get to decide whether you even want to fucking listen to me. Right? This was extremely infuriating to read this shit from this guy. My right to free speech doesn't mean my right to tell the truth. Or my right to tell the truth according to some jackass. Or my right to tell the truth according to an algorithmic computer program that decides what the truth is. I have the right to fucking lie if I want. I can lie my ass off. I can bend the truth. I can embellish. I can bullshit. If I want. That's my fucking right. And it doesn't matter whether it comes out of my mouth on the street or if it goes across the airwaves. It's my right. Now what that does is it gives us an idea where this country's at. Right? The dire conditions in which you and I are existing. Right? If I bullshit you guys left and right and blow smoke out, my mouth and up your asses, guess what? You don't have to fucking listen to me. Right? But see, that's not the gauge. That's not the measuring stick by which they will gauge my speech or your speech or anyone else's. Theirs is going to go through the government truth filter. That is, they don't want anyone to say anything unless they approve of it first. We are heading down not just a road of economic control, but one of mental control. Now, let's weigh that concept. John, you can't talk until you submit what you want to say for government verification. Compared to Mark Zuckerberg, the little Facebook prick who is right now censoring the living fuck out of you and me and everyone else, every chance he gets. He's mining data. He's taking your profiles and your private messages, and he's selling that information to advertisers to line his little pocket with money. Now, it'd be another story if he shared that with us. He said, hey, John, I made $100. Here's 50. You keep half, and I'll keep the other half. Well, I might agree to that, but I certainly don't like the idea of him selling my information for money. Because I get to use his free service? Give me a fucking break. It's Facebook. It's a stupid program. It can be duplicated 1,000 times over. It's not that valuable. It's just a fucking program. Okay, so Zuckerberg, he goes to Congress, sits down in front of them, and someone questions him and says, hey, where did you eat last night? Where did you sleep last night? What friends of yours did you talk to? Right? What color pink satin panties are you wearing, Mark Zuckerberg? And he's like, I don't want to share that information. I don't want to share that information. Right. It's your privacy, you little prick. But he's allowed to maintain his privacy while you and I are not. Not only that, but he capitalizes on it elsewhere. Moreover, he testified without being under oath. What good is his testimony to a government body concerned about breach of privacy if the little prick is not required to tell the truth? Moreover, he can say what he wants and it doesn't go through a truth filter. But for me and you, the little people, it does. That tells me and you how far we've come down this road to lunacy. Literally, shit is going to hit the fan because people cannot logically think anymore. They have to wait for the government to tell them what the truth is. You can't think on your own. You can't come up with your own theory like this one, and I put it out on the Facebook quote yesterday, is maybe it was another Trump rope-a-dope. He had his lawyer's office, right? They inspired Mueller, whatever that guy's name is, to raid the offices of Trump's attorney. Right? Someone planted that idea in their head and said, hey, special counsel can do whatever they want. Right? We no longer have to respect the attorney-client privilege, not when it's a crime. So they go and do that. So my theory, my conspiracy theory is, now that the cat's out of the bag, now that it's been justified, I think Trump should send his FBI agents. Sessions should send his FBI agents into Hillary's office and steal her files. And her attorneys, all of her hundreds of attorneys she has, trying to keep her shit safe, and raid them, because no longer does Hillary or Obama or anyone, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Susan Rice, none of them, James Comey, none of them, McCabe, none, Brenner, none of those people have attorney-client privilege anymore. That was my conspiracy theory, and I put that forward. Is that something that sounds like a good idea, to trick them into doing that? And then they say, well, yeah, you know, that's fine. Go ahead and go violate attorney-client privilege. Yeah, no problem. So now Trump can do it. And are they going to argue? Are they going to whine and cry? Are they going to say foul, not fair? But will it get Trump or the Attorney General's office or the FBI the information they need to prosecute these scumbags? Right. Maybe they already have the information, but they couldn't use it because of attorney-client privilege. But now they can. You see, that's a conspiracy theory. But it certainly would be a hell of a fucking story to hear come true. But why would Trump allow that? And then fold his arms and put out the pouty lip, right? Damn it, he was pissed off. Right? Or is that just an act? See, I think he's a lot smarter than these Democrats. And I didn't drink the Trump Kool-Aid. It's just he's the only one in Washington that appears to be on our side, that's fighting for us. So I might as well root for that team, because the other team has definitely got a whole hand up my ass and using me like a sock puppet, telling me what I can say and how much money I have to send them. Whether or not I get to have guns is up to some high school punks in Florida. The same fucking punks that are now snorting prophylactics up their nose. Rubbers, condoms. Snorting condoms up your nose and pulling them out your mouth is the newest trick of the week. Along with, I guess, dissolving Tide Pods, having casual group sex, and not realizing what gender you are. But we're now going to accept these little fucks as the moral determinants of what my rights are? Give me a fucking break. We are in bizarro land, which is why shit hitting the fan is so possible. But you and I, we have to stay grounded in reality. We have to stay grounded in the possibilities, right, that have to do with reason and logic. And people go, John, you drink alcohol. You know, you're not in your right mind when you do your videos. I make a lot more fucking sense half lit and more than these people out here do stone cold sober. You know, what drugs are they on, prescribed or not, that allow them to say such stupid things, right? And they get away with it. Absolutely ridiculous, reprehensible, anti-constitutional pro-communist scumbags are everywhere. You and I need to be prepared. Apparently Russia has come out and told their people, right, how to prepare for Armageddon, for shit hitting the fan. Right? Because the possibility is becoming more and more and more real as we get closer. As we get closer, we're going to come to this pinnacle. We're going to come to this pinnacle where truth and reality meets stupidity and foolishness and avarice and just outright evil. And we're going to come to a loggerhead. We're going to come to a point where we have to meet, and there's going to be violence. There has to be violence at some point here. And I've been going over this with many contacts. At some point, there's going to have to be violence. There's going to be some point where you can't get far enough away from these people. Where you can't just say, leave me alone anymore. Right? California is a weird place. New York is a weird place. Illinois is a weird place. Florida is turning into a really fucking weird place. The border state's weird place. The heartland is a weird place. The feds are weird. The states are weird. We have counties and cities that are passing ordinances restricting certain types of firearms. Now, I have to ask this. If I have a God-given right, a constitutional recognized right to keep and bear arms for the purpose of self-defense and defending this nation, and the federal government, which is the most powerful political body and institution on the planet, is not allowed to touch my AR-15. What does a room full of a bunch of local, squirmy, mamby-pamby people who represent nobody except a small number of constituents that would fit in the palm of their hand, why do they have the power to take away someone else's guns? The city of this and the incorporated city of that, they have the right. They have more power than the federal government. They can pass an ordinance. What planet did I wake up on? What planet did you wake up on is what you should be thinking. If the feds can't touch my guns, the states can't, the counties can't, the cities can't, the homeowners association has no right. Nobody does, in fact. The only right they have is that might makes right. That is, you're going to have to send a man with a gun to get your guns. That city over there is going to have to send guns to get all the guns in their city. You see, they say force is wrong and force is evil. Yet that's the exact tool they use to get their way. Same with the communists. All these little communist punks running around. What do they want to do? They want to take everyone else out by force. Why? Because they don't like your freedoms. They don't like the fact that your freedom gives you power. Political power and personal power. And power is force. They want to take your force, your power, by using the force of government. Government is blind, ignorant force. That is, police just say, just doing my duty, just following the law. Except at Nuremberg we said, obeying orders is no excuse for violating the human rights of other people. And you do not have to roll over and play dead. So what I'm predicting, and I'm not calling for, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not saying get it in your mind right, but think about it. There's going to come a point here, and we're getting there in a big fucking hurry, where people are going to have had enough. If you remember, when the federal government started talking about taking away guns, James Yeager of Yeager Tactical, who's no longer on YouTube, threw an absolute fit, got in front of the camera and said, if I hear one more law, I'm going to go nuts, right? I'm going to start shooting people. That's how close hundreds, thousands, and maybe even millions of Americans are to saying we've had enough. As preppers, we keep cool, we keep calm, but we understand the situation. These people are out of their gourds. Not only are they ignorant and fools, but they are drunk with power. drunk with power. They're intoxicated. Right? Who gave them that power? Where did it come from? The blood of patriots that fought and won the revolution in the United States of America. Dare I say that they're like saints? These people today in power are drunk on the blood of the saints. Think about it. They think that because someone else gave them power that they have a right to take your power. We need to understand that. These people are reckless. These people are out of control. And they're power mad and power thirsty. And there's very little that's opposing them. And it appears that President Trump is. I'm going to support that as long as I can, as long as he appears to be doing the right thing. Right? They fired some more people out of the White House team. They're getting rid of scum. They've done some unprecedented things. Right? They're going after Hillary. They're going after Obama. They're investigating these people. They have to have real crimes that they can prove in a court of law. They're doing this. Right? They're firing FBI directors. Not asking them to resign. Firing them. It's unprecedented. But it won't go unheralded. Because we're hearing about it and we're seeing it. What other choice do we have than to support this fight at the highest levels? The only other thing you can do is get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Study the Constitution. Study the foundational documents, meaning the Declaration of Independence. Understand where the authority that they used comes from. It doesn't come from another government. Understand that Trump and Putin and other world leaders are holding back from World War III because they're using the things I'm talking about, logic and reason. They know that they have to keep calm and keep cool because there's going to be a lot of false flag attempts. That's right, false attempts to drag them into war. To hide all of the corruption. Starting with Zuckerberg, for example. Once again, dog and pony show up there. Yeah, he got embarrassed a little. He doesn't want to give up his privacy. But really, what are they doing about it? Are they going to regulate him a little bit? Or are they going to tell them to stop regulating and fucking with us? Literally. Right? He can steal our information and sell it for money. But we don't have free speech on these social platforms? In fact, they can demonetize and take our money from us. And it's not my $100 or someone else's $100. It's the aggregate sum, tens of thousands and millions of dollars. And they'll steal from us and keep it for themselves. Why? Right? Because they have the power and no one's there stopping them. There's no regulatory authority that can touch them. We're dealing with corruption on so many levels in the financial markets. It is astounding when you learn what's going on and how they do it. It's astounding how they're governing us, not through the use of good law, but through social manipulation, social engineering. So to be a prepper is to be a free thinker. If you're thinking, I need to prep, which you should be, you're thinking, bad things can happen. I need to have food and water. Bad things can happen. I need to be able to protect myself. Bad things can happen. I need to have a plan. If you're thinking those kind of thoughts, then you are mentally independent. And you need to exercise that independence. Test me, see if I'm full of shit. Test others that are talking about these things, see if they're full of crap. Test everybody and test your own thoughts. That's what it is to be free. And when you start finding that you're coerced, that you're being regulated, that you're being threatened with fines, that you have to ask permission, you can see that you're getting funneled into a corner, a seriously dark deep, hemmed in corner. And that is no place for a free people to be. Certainly no place for me to be. Seriously big problems in our futures. You need to be prepared. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell loved ones, get prepared. We've got stupid going on. And even if Trump and Putin and Xi Jinping and other world leaders are calm, cool, and collected, that does not mean that the bad guys are going to pull their false flags. Do you think the pseudo quasi contractors that worked for the government that pulled off the Oklahoma City bombing, do you think they went to Congress and had an up or down vote to see if they could do it? Do you think they went from Sandy Hook down to D.C. to ask permission to pull off that stunt? How about the Boston bombing? Do you think they had Congress vote on whether or not they should try and pull that stunt off on live TV? Do you think that they went with 9/11 and said, hey, Congress, we need you to vote on this. We want to go to war in the Middle East and cause a war against terrorism for the next 50 years. So we need to pull off some shenanigans, some bullshit. We need to destroy billions of dollars and kill thousands of people so we can get the public behind us. Go ahead and vote on it, Congress. No, there are secret societies, secret organizations operating with the power of government. There's a difference between the government doing it and people operating with the power of government. People say the government did 9/11. In reality, they didn't. But people using the power of government did. The power to control pieces and parts of a system, to pull off that. Very similar to doing a bank heist. You think they're manipulating the stock market with full government permission? No. But they're using government power. And parts of the government are turning a blind eye so they can pull these stunts off. They have the power of governments to launch missiles, to engage other nations, bomb them, terror attacks, in order to create havoc and conflict. That's how wars are started. That's how they're started. We need to be well aware of that. We need to be prepared for it. So do your best. I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep a sharp eye out. Get prepared, because chance favors the prepared mind is yours.